So thanks for being here. Tonight I'm going to talk about visibility rules in and security in search results. Quick intro about me. So I'm Michael. I'm a CTO at Click Mortar, that company I co-founded with Cyril, who's just in the back of the room. I've been using Algolia since almost the beginning, so for 2 years now, and building e-commerce websites for 7 years. Nowadays, websites offering search engines and search capacities may need to provide to provide relevant results. They might need to use some context to contextualize results. These contexts might be some like user context, group context, role context, and any other context you could imagine. In the specific case of B2B commerce, returning allowed results that you may be allowed to see becomes mandatory. For instance, if you have users of different companies, they may not see the same products. They may not be allowed to see the same part of catalogs, and not at the same price. So let's see an example. Let's say we get shop A, which has limited catalog access, so we can see only a part of the catalog. Shop B, that can see the whole catalog, but with a custom price grid. And we have 3 users. Alice, who is a manager, so she's working for both. She's managing both shop A and B, and Bob who is working for shop A, and Peter, who's working for shop B. So in this case, we want to. Alice should be able to see all products because she has the products from shop B and the prices of shop A, the custom price grid from shop B, and all the products. And Bob should only be able to see products of shop A, and Peter all the products, but with custom prices. So, question is, how could we address this using Algolia or any other search engine? I had several projects for B2B commerce platforms for which I had to study options on how we could implement this, and we got many options, and we selected 3 options. First one, in the first case, so we got the user. Actually, when I say user, it's more like the browser, which would be sending an AJAX query request to the application. So in this case, the application might be an e-commerce platform or any kind of application you're developing in PHP, Ruby, or any language, Node.js or something. The contextualization rules are held by the application, and the application would be querying Elasticsearch, applying on the fly the context rules, and returning all the results back to the user. This is a cool solution. It was the first approach we got, but the main drawback of this approach is that it's very slow, because we get to get through the application, apply the rules, query Elasticsearch, which is quite fast, but not as fast as Algolia can be, and send the results back. Second option, we still have the same 3 layers, but we studied the opportunity to develop a small middleware, which is a search proxy. So it's intended to be a very fast application, which would have only one responsibility, which would be to let's say to apply the filters to be able to be queried and apply the context rules, query Elasticsearch, and get the results all the way back to the users. So we don't need to get through the application search proxy should be a lot faster than going through the application. And oops. Okay. Okay, we can see. Okay. It's not funny if it works at first shot. Okay, last slide should be that we have the connection between the application and the search proxy to synchronize the rules, the context rules between the two. So this is an interesting approach on our point of view. It was really faster than going through the application, but we had to develop and maintain another application, the search proxy, and to synchronize the data between the application here and the search proxy. Third option, having the user, actually the browser, querying directly Algolia with applying the context rules directly in the query, which is made from the browser to Algolia. This option, filtering, is made at query time, so the filters are actually in the query, which is made by the browser. It really works fine, but the queries could be forged. For instance, if someone just copies the query which is made to Algolia, he could change the filters and potentially see things that he shouldn't be able to see. And here we can say that obfuscation is really not secure. So we had to find a solution for the users not to be able to forge the queries made to Algolia. So that's here that secured API keys come. Algolia offers a smart way to filter the results on client side by using custom secured API keys. So these keys are actually created by your application, and they will include, for instance, query filters. Query filters, like maybe you want to filter for a given user on a specific group. So let's say this user can only see products of store A and has the role of manager. So when you'll be indexing your documents in Elasticsearch, in Algolia, you'll index all these attributes. So only those documents would be returned. You can also apply on a secure API key. You can set indices restriction. So let's say you have several indices, or you can even have per group or per role indices with specific documents. So you can say this API key may only get documents from this index. And you can also apply source restrictions or user restrictions, like by IP or with a user token. So a little bit of code. It's the example from the official doc of Algolia. Here you see just three lines of code. We can create a token. So the token, we choose the token. It's actually not generated by Algolia. We choose the token. We set a few params, like here we can see the filters that will always be applied to our queries, the validity of the token, the indices, and the sources. So we just generate the API key, and we can use it. So how we set up this? We'll have our application that will create for each context. So it may be a specific user or a role or a group. So the application will contact Algolia to create secured API keys for each filtering context. So, and then will store all those API keys to use them. On the user side, the token will be used in the queries made to Algolia. So we can make sure that the user won't see the filters that are applied in the query. So he will only see a specific API key which replaces the actual public API key that you may normally be using when not filtering your queries. So the whole picture of this third option that we currently use on many websites in production is the user querying Algolia with secure API key, and the application synchronizing contextuals to get a secure API to create secure API keys with context with Algolia. Just quick things to notice. You will need to, when you're indexing documents in Algolia, you will need to index the context inside, so you can be able. So it's just not for instance for a product. You will, besides the name, the price, and the description, you may need to index like accessor IDs or group IDs, role IDs, or anything that could be used to filter the results at query time. There's a small drawback when it's not just about showing the document or not, a result or not. Like maybe you want to you have custom prices for some customers, then you may need to index same documents, the same product, let's say, with the different prices, and whether depending on the context, one document or the other one will be returned. So, quick summary. This third option is very fast. I think all of you who are already using Algolia know that there are not many, not even one option as fast as Algolia is for search queries. So it's very fast, and the queries directly made from the client side to Algolia. That also means that your infrastructure does not have to handle all the search queries. It's just made directly to Algolia, handled by Algolia directly. It's secure. You can be sure that only allowed documents will be returned to the client, to the people browsing, and there is no way to forge the queries. And the last one is very simple. The filtering logic stays in your application. You don't have any application to maintain besides your main application. And you can even create secure API keys on the fly. Let's say just when rendering a page, you can create the secure API key at this time and using it instantly after having generated it. That's it. Thanks for attention.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions that people want to ask? As I survey the room. Of course. I know, I'm so sorry. I'll do it from here. Oh. You just didn't want me to hit you in the face.
I'm just curious if how do you find the concept of secured API keys? It's something that's I'm not familiar that would have been used anywhere else, but did you have any like security concerns before that? Because it's easy to miss something, and like a small bug can introduce something else. Would you think that could be something better done on that side?
I don't think so. We actually never had any issue related to this, because the thing is we're using like a key that's specific to given users or given roles, so they just have one key. They can't know the keys of other contexts, so they
Yeah,
No,
so it's pretty
we
straightforward.
haven't had any security issues. No.
Okay, nice.
Any other questions? Yep.
Vincent?
Hi, thanks for the presentation. When you did the decision to use Algolia and you presented the different options internally, were there a lot of debates because it's not only about the features that Algolia provide, but also the build versus buy. You could have done it with Elasticsearch, for example, and not rely on Algolia. So were there any heated debate internally, or was it like super clear which solution?
The main debate actually is about the cost, because Elasticsearch is actually free, so you can use it. You can have as many documents in Elasticsearch as you want without having to pay. So yeah, we had first thing we looked at was how many documents we will have to index, because the pricing model of Algolia depends on the number of documents, the number of queries, and many things. So yes, but we just thought about how long it would take for us to get as relevant results with Elasticsearch and to get something like not even close to the performance of Algolia, and so we really made quickly a decision to use Algolia.
Okay, thanks.
Good.
Time for one more if anybody has one. All right, great. Michael, thank you very much.